Jess, we're back for another episode of Serial Streamers. And this time we're going to talk about the documentary about basically the clothing retail chain that's basically had like a chokehold on, preteens, teenagers, young women. Like I've even seen like some of the younger Kardashians wearing it and stuff like that. But it's Brandy Melville, and the documentary, what's it called? Brandy Hellville, The Cult of Fast Fashion. So we're going to get into that documentary. And what I will say is, it's like right away when you said that you wanted to cover it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm aware of Brandy Melville. Only not because I shop there. Like I probably would not fit into anything in that store, but also it's just, I am way too old for that. I'm way too perimenopausal for that store.
I know.
I need Lane Bryant and Ann Taylor and I need
and Kirkland Fashion.
Thank you. But I knew about it because Drew, my middle child, who you know very well, she's 22 now. So I want to say that it was either in late middle school, very early high school, that store had a chokehold on her.
She's like the age group, I think, when it came out. Because it's having a resurgence right now.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Kind of wild.
I know. Yeah. The local CPK that's been there forever. It's gone, and now it's going to be a new
Brandy
Melville.
The CPK.
And it's huge. I know.
Yeah, God, I love their pizza.
I need their barbecue chicken salad. I know. But anyways, I think it missed our generation. It's perfect for your daughter's generation, but now I think it's like still it's relevant. Basically.
And I didn't know that. Like I literally thought that it had its day. And maybe that's because I'm not raising a daughter that's in the age group that would be shopping at Brandy Melville. Like Drew has moved on from that. Stevie's only 11, so she's not into it. So it's like I just thought it like came and went. But I learned from this documentary like it is still alive and kicking. And based on what we're going to talk about today, like the controversy surrounding the store, it's crazy to me that like people just don't give a shit.
No.
They're like, no, I still need my Brandy Melville. Like it's a cult.
I know.
It's crazy. And when it got popular, they said, I think in like 2009.
Yeah. And it's almost like came out the same when like Instagram was getting big.
That
like
makes
they
sense.
really utilized Instagram. So I think that was a big part of their success in the beginning and continued success. I even went on their IG last night.
Yeah, I did
They
too.
follow nobody.
Zero.
Yeah.
It's like 3.1 million followers.
And they post almost every day, one post a day. Like if you
Yeah.
look at the dates, it's one post a day.
And their Instagram plays a huge role in the store's success and its chokehold on young women and girls. And so basically like Brandy Melville started like, it got popular around 2009, and it's kind of confusing where the ownership lies. But the way they described it is like, there's all these different stores in different countries. Many of them are here in the US, but some are in other countries as well. But there's this guy, Stephan Marsan.
Yes.
Is that how you say it? Marsan?
Yes, I think it's like Marsan or Marsan. Yeah.
Stephan Marsan.
Marsan.
Yeah. He is basically the brand owner and like the brains behind the operation. So he's got his name attached to probably every store in some way. But the investigative reporter that was talking about Brandy Melville, Katie Taylor in the documentary, she's like, this is the way that they have the ownership structure set up to be so complex is by design.
Right.
And with my own experience investigating, like shell companies and schemers and scammers and the way they do it, white collar crimes, and I'm not saying this is a white collar crime, but when you're trying to hide something or do something a bit nefarious or just maybe not pay taxes, maybe, just whatever it may be, it is very common to set up very complex ownership structures. There tends to be like a lot of LLCs, like in the case of Mary Carol McDonnell, that, phony Hollywood heiress who I did a podcast about and an investigation. She had like, I want to say like in the 30s, like different LLCs, and this LLC was owned by this LLC, and this one was owned by her, and this one was partially owned by this trust, and this so it's a way for them to sort of like
muddy the water,
That's it. Yes. Muddy the water so nobody can really get to the bottom of what's going on. It's a way for them to maybe hide money, not pay taxes, move money around without being detected, that's not supposed to be moved around. So who knows what the reason is that the ownership structure is so complex with Brandy Melville, but in any event.
Well, I'm guessing that's why.
Thank you. Thank you. Like I do have one guess.
Yeah.
Schemer.
Yeah, like
trying to
seeing
hide
all
something.
the things that like come out of this, I mean, it makes sense. and his belief system too.
Oh my, we're going to get into this Stephan Marsan guy because we would come to find out he's extremely problematic. I'm talking like racist, sexist. I'm talking, disgusting, anti-Semitic, like just all kinds of things. So we'll get into that. But, basically Brandy Melville just blew up in popularity. And part of the reason is something you touched on. It was their Instagram.
Yes.
And it's just the way that like they would curate and make their Instagram grid so aesthetically pleasing. But you will notice that it features one commonality in almost every post, and that is a rail-thin, white, young girl, mostly with light eyes, like very...
It's like California surfer aesthetic.
Absolutely. Yes. And we will come to find out that like, Stephan Marsan would have store owners and managers fire girls because they didn't fit the body type or they didn't look a certain way. And so it's just all disgusting. But that is really their rise in popularity was a lot. Like these girls are looking at the Instagram and they're like, oh my God, I have to have that look. I have to have that short little crop tee.
That baby tee, that perfect little soft baby tee.
Yes, the cropped little baby tee. And so there's like girls that would like line up outside of new stores when they open. And like, it's just this whole thing. And then when you walk in, every single person that works there for the most part looks the same, acts the same. They're cute, they're thin, they're white largely. And so there was this big rise in popularity, but soon people start to realize like there are cracks in this organization. Like, and then there all the way to like there are huge ethical issues within this organization.
And I feel like
touch on
and
that.
The fact that like a teenage girl can see the red flags when they're, their brain is still being formed.
Yes.
And there's a lot of like life lessons you're still learning. They even started to see
they
like,
were
what
wait
is going
a
on?
minute.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry. I'm like thinking back when you and I almost got scammed at the beach by a guy who said he hires models. Do you remember that?
No, not at all.
Jessi,
not even no.
Let me see if I can jog your memory. I'm going to take 2 minutes.
Okay.
You and I were vulnerable teenagers. We literally didn't know shit from shit. Like we thought we did.
But
we did not. Looking back, we didn't know anything.
Nothing.
And we used to go to the beach for summer vacation. We talked about this in a previous episode. Your parents used to rent a beach house in like Orange County, Newport Beach. You and I would be living our best lives, lay on the beach all day, get 3rd-degree burns with baby oil. And then we would go to like the fun zone at night. Yeah. We would go talk to boys and all the things. Best memories of our lives. But there was one year that we were there, and I don't remember which one it was. There was a greasy, short, troll-looking, heavier set, older man who gave us his card and said, call me because and he was like breathing heavy. I remember all of it. He was breathing heavy. Like he was gross.
Were we on the beach or were we at the
We
fun
were like
zone
walking on like the boardwalk
Okay.
and he stopped us like, oh, I need to talk to you, He gave us some sort of card with a phone number. Now, what I will say, he said he's hiring models and that, he's I don't know if he's like a scout or an agent or something.
He's probably none of those.
None of those. Yeah. He's absolutely, he's scouting for something.
But
it ain't for legit models.
Yeah.
We were like all of 13, 14 at the time. And I will just add that context to the story. You and I, what I will give us credit for is we were like, this guy's creepy. Like we're not going to model for him.
Thank God we at least had like those kind of spidey senses because
we did. Like we both were like, no. And both of us would have loved to be a model back in the day. I'm sorry. Like any girl back then would be like, sign me up. I'll model. Like, okay. But you and I were about the bullshit. And so we literally took nothing serious in life at that time. We called the phone number, but just to fuck around.
Did he answer?
Yes. And when he answered, it only solidified like our spidey senses because he literally is like, hello.
Ew.
Hello. Like literally breathing hard. Like it was. And we're like, hi. Like we got your number. Like you
want to be model?
Yeah.
I don't remember this at all.
I cannot believe I fully remember that we went upstairs and we called him. We had no intentions of modeling for him, but we're like, let's just fuck with this guy, and he was so creepy and I have no idea what he would have done or not done.
Oh God.
Had we shown up
thank God.
ready to model.
But
yes. That's actually like, it's funny to us. Cause like we caught it, like we clocked it, but
you can see
scary.
Like how, and that's why like with this, when you see what the girls, how they were approached or how they were recruited, it was literally, they'd be walking into shop and they like their look and they would say like, can I get a picture of, they'd take pictures of them. They would use it for their content. And they would hire them on the spot. And of course, like, we all wanted to work. That was
Wet
like
Seal.
Yeah. Oh my! Ours was Wet Seal.
Ours was Wet Seal. Bongo and Guess jeans.
That's right. Like, back from the 90s. Yes.
Wet Seal was the Brandy Melville of our time. When we were in junior high, that store had a chokehold on us. But do
you remember? Did you apply for the Esprit outlet with me?
I did.
Because I was thinking about that.
Are we going to go there?
Yes, please. Because
But are we going to go there?
Wait, why?
What else happened at the Esprit outlet?
I don't remember.
Jessi!
Wait, don't tell it. Why do I not remember that part?
Okay. I think you're trying to block out
all the bad things.
Yes.
Oh, I just was thinking about how I got interviewed.
All I will say is we were bad girls.
Okay, yeah.
We don't need to go there because you've got a respectable job.
No,
we were just bad girls.
Yes.
We were being stupid. Our frontal lobe was not formed, and we regret everything.
Yes.
Okay. Esprit outlet.
Yeah. Do you remember your interview though?
Yes, and it was terrible.
Oh, my interview was, and we had to go out there. It was like a 20-minute drive.
Yeah,
actually.
to Cabazon.
I don't even think I had a license yet.
Yeah, because we used to steal everybody's cars and drive them when we were.
I know. This is like how delusional I was, thinking like I'm cute enough. Yeah. I'm just a young teen, preteen. Yeah, I shop here. They're gonna like love me. And I remember one of the interview questions they asked, like, well, they're tell us three good qualities about you.
Oh God.
And I just like looked at him like, I don't want to say anything. I'm not going to sound conceited. I was so afraid to talk about myself because then that wasn't cool to talk. But I'm in a freaking interview.
Wait, no, you have to talk good about. Is there nothing good you can say about yourself?
It was too embarrassing. I was like cringe. It was like cringy. I'm not talking about myself.
That's like so cringe. Like, no, I'm going to talk about myself.
What's funny is I actually got a letter in the mail saying that
you're
didn't
declined.
Sorry, but we did not choose you. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You and I had no business applying at that stage in our lives. We were so unserious. Like, literally, Jessi, we could not take anything in life seriously. Our high school graduation, the video that your mom took is both of us going, dee, 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 like we thought
we barely graduated. It's so ridiculous. That's the thing, is like you're in your own world. You're super self-centered. You don't know. So like when these girls are asked like, hey, do you want to, work at this store? Of course they do.
Like if we, I guess it would, like, to your point, if we walked into Esprit, which we love that store, and they were like, oh my God, you're so cute. Let me take a Polaroid. We'd be like, oh my God, yes. Like, of course.
And it would be the big thing we'd talk about that night. Like, I can't believe.
We would brag up and down to
I would
our
be
friends.
fantasizing about my modeling career coming up, where this was going to lead to. I guess I'm going to go down this path. This is going to be my big break.
Yeah. Like a model scout is going to come to Esprit and be like, this chick's everything.
Yes.
Like, she is everything. Give her a deal. I mean, we literally had no business. We took nothing serious in life. So I can imagine I was so immature and giggly and like lame in my interview. They were probably like this. And I would, to the point of what we saw in the documentary. I'm sorry, I'm like getting the giggles because it's actually really funny. In the Brandy Melville documentary, the girl that was pushing the Swiffer with no pad.
And even the guy was like, when they have to fire him, he's like, they're 16 years old. Like, you can think of
There's
a
myriad
of reasons to fire these
We don't ever have to admit we're firing you because you're not skinny enough, you're not white enough,
right,
you're not
right.
cute. Like, literally, like, these are the reasons.
They gave back $20 instead of like $2 or whatever.
They were like, you pushed the Swiffer with no pad on it. We're firing you for
up
that.
Our wood floors. Yeah.
But what makes me laugh is like, I would have been that person in the Esprit outlet.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I took nothing serious in life. And by the way,
no
I need to stop and admit something too that's actually a joke in my family. When I saw that the girl was like pushing the Swiffer with no pad, boy, did I relate. Because do you know what I used to think? I thought I was really smart doing this. My sister and I, as you know, were latchkey kids. Like, our parents both worked, right? We would walk home from school, literally had a key to the house, the definition of a latchkey kid, and we would be home for like 3 hours by ourselves till mom and dad got home. Mm-hmm. We always had a chore. So like every day when we got home, our chore was like, Jessi, do the dishes, Jami, you vacuum. Jessi, dust, Jami,
you mop.
Whatever. Yeah. I was so lazy. And all I wanted to do was get on the phone with my friends. All I wanted to do was pull the cord of the phone around down the hallway and sit in my bedroom and talk on my like phone that had a cord. That's when phones had cords.
Right.
I mean, maybe eventually we got the like cordless phone.
Right.
But I literally, so my chore one particular day was to vacuum. I got the vacuum, didn't even plug it in, and I went, and I made lines. And
But you couldn't just plug it in.
That's the whole thing. My sister, my cousin were like, Jami,
you're still going through the motions.
You
just
thought you were so smart. Like literally all you had to do is take like 10, maybe 10 more seconds. Plug it in. At least you'd get something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, all I cared about was making the tracks and getting on the phone with my
You're like, that's how smart you're going to like pull one over on your mom.
I was like,
yeah.
I got this. I'll make the tracks and boom, my mom will be
Never
none
know.
the wiser.
Yeah.
None the wiser. Little did I know. It's like, dude, Jami, like now I know how to commit crimes. Like I've studied enough true crime. Like I will be a very good crime committer if that's what I want to do. But I was very inexperienced back then. And I really did think I was like pulling a fast one on my family.
Oh my God.
And I didn't even plug it in. It's like, my sister's like, Jami, you're so, like literally, she's like, you're so lame. Like, you're so lame. And my mom literally came over. She's like, it doesn't make sense that there's tracks, but like I see little particle. Like what?
Yeah, she's like, what's going on with this freaking vacuum?
Yeah,
like,
well,
what's
that
going on with the
vacuum's
suction?
cheap, Mom.
Yeah,
It's
the
time to get
suction
a new
isn't
one.
working.
Yeah, clearly the vacuum's broken.
Yeah.
Like it's not me. Anyway, okay. So yes, to your point, the girls that worked at Brandy Melville, it's like the owner, the brand owner, that Stephan Marsan guy, like he's the one really like pulling on the strings, right? But then there's like store owners, store managers that he directs, like, hey, do this, hire her, fire her. But literally they would instruct the Brandy Melville, like these young, inexperienced
Staff,
girls, to take style inspo or outfit inspo pictures. So like
daily.
Daily.
It's
so
like you came onto your shift,
yes,
you go take your picture and then send it.
Not only did the employees who worked at the store have to take an inspo photo of themselves, and it had to be full body, according to Stephan Marsan, Stephan Marsan, whatever his name is, but also they had to go around the store and take pictures of customers who were cute and stylish. And this was for a couple reasons. Number one, if they were super cute, he'd be like, hire them on the spot, hire them.
Right.
And these girls would get jobs on the spot just because they're cute. They have no experience. They might be a terrible
They weren't even
employee.
looking for a job. They were literally looking for their baby tee.
That's it. They're looking for their cropped baby tee that's going to fall apart after 3 washes.
Right.
And then the other reason that he would have them take those inspo photos of people coming in the shop was so he could copy their clothes and manufacture them like fast fashion, do it cheap, and sell them at the store. So there'd be like this girl coming in with these cute like lavender colored like cargos, and she'd wear it with like a white belt. She's cuffed them at the like super cute.
Right.
And they'd be like, oh my God, we love your outfit. Can we take a picture? And what customer that loves Brandy Melville is going to say no?
Right.
So they let him take a picture, and then they go and copy the clothes, and the next thing you know, a week later, it's on the rack.
That's
like,
right.
We're selling these purple cargos.
And that guy, I can't remember his name, but the VP of sales, or he was like
Jessi.
Was that the one that interviewed that was like he wouldn't show his face? It wasn't Jessi.
Oh no, it was somebody else. I don't know what his name was.
Yeah, but he was saying that they would even have the girls go out. They would give them money, and they would go buy outfits. They would come back and see how they style, like the girls who worked in the store. They would style them.
Yes.
And then he would make, so many pieces, and their kind of flagship store was in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
They would put those pieces on the floor and see which ones would sell out or were really popular, and then they would go to production and then produce them.
So so basically this Stephan Marsan guy, who's like the brand owner of Brandy Melville, basically he probably didn't give a shit about fashion. He didn't give a shit about people. He didn't give a shit about being like this, nothing really, other than like he knew how to fake it to make it, is what I will say. Like he knew that Instagram, that if he put highly curated, beautiful girls that look a certain way on Instagram and blew that up and made girls like fan all over like their Instagram page, that would help blow up the store. And he also knew he didn't need to be on the up and up like some fashion guy that knows what's in for fashion and could see in the future like, ooh, it's not that he had an eye for fashion, is that he knew to use girls who did have an eye for fashion, who were the cool girls. And he would just basically go, cool, let me just copy everything that you're wearing and sell it at my store. And that's what he did. So he would literally just see a cool girl walk in the store, and he'd snap a photo and he'd send it to his manufacturers and say, make, 1 million pairs of these, whatever.
Right.
And he'd put it in all his stores and it would sell out. So that was his business model. But what we would find out are many things, like many, many, many issues. Number one, and this is an issue with many different retailers, fast fashion, is that it's filling our landfills, especially in Africa and Ghana. In Ghana, they describe that I guess the US and Europe has some sort of deal with Ghana, that they're essentially under this deal, they're kind of forced to take all our millions of tons
of excess
clothing that we Americans and Europeans like just discard, and they have to do something with it. And what ends up happening is they make a few cents, you know, here and there, and women are literally breaking their bodies to what they call it, the head carrying. Like they put, you know, 150 pounds on their head and they walk it across town and to try to sell it or whatever they're going to do. So they try to make whatever pennies they can on it. But what really happens is it's just too much clothing. Their oceans are flooded and polluted with our waste and the Europeans' waste, clothing waste. And they literally show video footage of these beautiful oceans, and it's just a sea of clothing. Mounds, like 8 feet tall, mounds of clothing. And that
was shocking.
Grossed me out.
No, I know. And that was another part of it's like, you know, learning about something new. Like, you know, we talk about that documentary, The Octopus Teacher. Like now I don't eat octopus since then.
Same.
So when I saw this, I was like, God damn it. Like, listen, so one part of this documentary is about fast fashion.
Yes.
And you learn about, you know, of course, it's no surprise America and other, you know, European countries were over consumers, but specifically America's known for it. So, you know, we're not very sustainable with our clothing. And so this excess of clothing, you know, we think we're doing a good job by like going through our closets and our drawers, and we're going to go take it over to like Goodwill or to these bins where you're donating your clothes. Well, even then, you think it's going to end up on a hanger at Goodwill, and you have done like the, you know, ethical, you know, you're a good person. In reality, even those systems and those businesses or that, you know, is overwhelmed by the amount of clothing. And so, like you said, they have this deal to go to Ghana. And I kind of knew about Ghana having receiving our clothing from like the late 90s because one of we have a mutual friend, and I'll tell you who it is later. She was in the Peace Corps, and she was in Ghana.
Oh, okay.
And so she spent over, I think it was over a year, 2 years in Ghana. And I remember her telling me like she would see people in the village that she lived in. They would be wearing like these American T-shirts with the most obnoxious, you know, saying, you know, America is obnoxious with the things that they put on it.
So gluttonous.
But so
and
they
so
had no
obnoxious.
idea what it said, but it was just like clothing for them. But seeing this documentary, like the actual, and that was in the late 90s.
It's gotten so much worse.
It's gotten so much worse. And so they're literally drowning in clothes in Ghana.
They are.
I mean, and you know, you see that they're trying to figure out a way to recycle, repurpose,
burn it.
Oh yeah, they're burning it.
Overwhelmed.
Oh, it was absolutely disgusting. And it's like seeing it now, I can't unsee it, obviously.
I know.
And so now I'm just like, God damn it, can we not have anything?
I know,
like,
and we can't. Like, we really do need to think about these things. And it's the same thing with like plastic. And,
oh
you know,
yeah,
it really. And I know we're all guilty of. I don't see it.
Yeah,
in
I'm
my
not
face
seeing
every
the
day.
end point of what's happening to
Right.
this.
So I'm able to just sort of like not even compartmentalize, to not think about it because I'm going on with my life and raising my kids and doing my job and do, you know, all the things. But these things are going on. And this documentary, if anything we learned, I mean, we learned that this guy, Stephan Marsan is a terrible dude. But that was like, okay, that's that. But also just like the fast fashion, the issue of it. And certainly Brandy Melville's not the only fast fashion. There's a million of them.
Yes.
And I have bought clothing from certain places that I know are fast fashion. Now, I have had it in the back of my mind as of late as far as like where I buy my clothes and this and that. But no, I really truly wish that I could be that person that's like, let me look for the certification that you're, you know what I mean? Like sustainable, like truly sustainable.
But that's like a
and not just
privilege
faking
though,
it, but
too,
that's a
right?
privilege too, because
it's a privilege because
you have to have money to
right.
buy sustainable because it's more expensive. It's just, the eggs that I buy at the store are pasture raised organic if I can get it. And that is a privilege to be able to buy something that I perceive as a bit healthier, you know, than the other options. So you bring up a good point. It's just we Americans and Europeans and people in general are struggling, and they're stuck in this like, I need to get whatever's the cheapest. I don't have $80 to spend on a top, I have $12 to spend on a top, or I have, you know what I mean? So they're gonna go to the fast fashion. So it's just like this hamster wheel. Like I don't know how we get out of it. Of course, I do think it is solvable. It will take a lot of time and a lot of change and a lot of, maybe legislation and, education. But this documentary definitely made me feel really gross and gluttonous, because although I'm not the person that's like loves fast fashion, I certainly have shopped.
Oh, yeah.
At fast fashion
most
stores.
of us have.
And not even thought about, is it fast fashion or not?
No.
And they make the point in this documentary that if you're getting something, like if you're seeing a store that's like putting new fashions up every week, every month, like Zara, Shein, they name those in the documentary, it's very likely, allegedly, that somebody is working in deplorable conditions to get you that. A woman might be breaking her back in Ghana, carrying 150 pounds on her head through the streets, because there's just so much excess. There could be people working in sweatshops, and there are sweatshops in the United States.
Right.
They're everywhere. It's not just like you picture all these other countries that have all these sweatshops. And I'm sure that is true, that almost every country has some level of like an issue with sweatshops. And so if you're getting it cheap, you're getting it fast, they're saying that is an indicator that very likely
and it's like a long-standing
fashion.
Known thing about fashion, kind of goes hand in hand with this not great working conditions. And that they are putting these people through a lot to pump these things out and do it. And it's all about, the cheapest cost to produce this product. And they even said like most items of clothing that you have pass through like let's say one shirt passes through like 20 hands for you to like get that. Like there's, there's all these things that it goes through, and it isn't something that, and it's known, but it's something that, it's just, again, like animal rights, something, we want to be better with all of those things, but it takes time, it takes knowledge, it takes someone standing up for it.
It does. And it's out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
I think is the issue. It's like, I am somebody that if it's in my face enough, or if I even just see it once and it's just so like has an impact on me, I can and will make changes. Like we watched that Octopus Teacher, like you said, that documentary. I have not eaten octopus since then. Yeah. And not that I would eat it often, but I'm like, I can't. I saw it. I love that thing, and I'm not doing it, So people can and will make changes, but it's like we have to just throw it in your face. But then there's that balancing act of, if you do it too much, then people become desensitized to it. So if we throw the issue of fast fashion in your face every day, there's something fast fashion. It almost is like, oh, I see it so much that I think people get desensitized. Right. So what is the balance? But other issues in this documentary are with regard to Stephan Marsan.
Yes. Yeah, that was kind of like they threaded the fast fashion kind of aspect, and educating the audience, like watching this documentary about that, which I thought that was a good little backdrop about. But then there's the actual like Brandy Melville aspect, the brand of that, his role in that, and like the corrupt things that seem to be going on that, as the brand grew.
Yes. So basically those things are that he, according to this documentary and people who spoke on it, he wants to hire, for the most part, thin, white, attractive girls. And it's dangerous too, because there's literally like Brandy Melville, they have this thing called like one size fits all, but it doesn't fit all.
No.
The clothes are literally, if you're a medium or above, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, no, it's an extra small.
Yes, but that's their one size fits all. So they started getting a lot of heat for that. Like, dude, I'm trying on your clothes, and all these girls are on TikTok going, I'm trying on your shirt. I'm like, and the girl's not a heavier set girl. She's an average, whatever. And she can't get this thing over her chest. And so then they're like, okay, well, let's just say it one size fits most. Yeah. And like, that's still
even then they're like, and then they said like girls were like, but I'm not even most girls. Like, it still didn't work.
It made them like feel terrible about themselves, and I get that. And then it started to become dangerous because these clothes are so small, and the girls that work there are so small, and some of them admitted to struggling with eating disorders. Is that there would be like these trends of girls being like, oh my God, I lost 18 pounds and now I fit into all the Brandy Melville clothes, and look at me. And they did this skirt try on. You have to literally be like unnaturally rail thin to fit into this Brandy Melville skirt. And it was almost like a flex if you could fit into it.
Right.
And so it's like dangerous territory, because this Brandy Melville, has a chokehold on these girls and a huge platform. So young, vulnerable, insecure, like girls, and you don't even have to be insecure. This can make you insecure.
Oh, yes.
Are trying to fit the mold that Brandy Melville is putting out, but the mold that they're putting out is not mostly natural. It's not always healthy. Some of the girls that work there and that are representing the brand are admittedly struggling with ED. And so they're struggling with ED, but girls on the outside are like, I want to look like her because she's what Brandy Melville like wants, people to look like, or the clothes fit her, so I'm going to go drop 25 pounds in a matter of 2 weeks or whatever it is. And it's just dangerous. So there was that aspect. But then we would find out that this Stephan Marsan had this group chat with a lot of the store owners and managers. And not only would the employees that work there send their outfit inspo to there, but the group chat became very, very, very toxic.
Yes.
So people reported that there were Hitler jokes. There were
fat shaming, pictures of fat women.
Yeah, literally fat shaming, body shaming, sexualizing of young girls, over sexual. The jokes were, they're not jokes.
No.
Disgusting,
Yes.
anti-Semitic, sexist, racist, anything you can think of as disgusting behavior is what was going on in these group chats. And so it became very clear that there is a major issue with the leadership of this brand.
Right. And Brandy Melville as a brand never spoke out publicly about these things that would come up. And they're still quiet.
They're still quiet. There was huge backlash.
Right.
Enough that you'd think that they would get canceled. It didn't matter.
No, they just don't. They're just quiet about it.
Yeah.
And this group text was the only kind of thing. I think the investigative reporter, Katie Taylor or whatever her name is, she was saying that was something they finally had some kind of evidence of the real, thought process, or there was, because there were no public, statements made by the brand.
Yeah. So it just, there's enough smoke there,
Yes.
and enough testimony. I will, not in trial or anything, but enough accounts of people speaking out, employees, store managers, customers, everybody is saying the same thing. And it's a huge issue. But like you said, Brandy Melville, they never, ever addressed it, never apologized for it, never said we'll do better. They
never made any changes.
Nothing. They're just 10 toes down, nah, we're just going to ride this thing out. And guess what? They're fine. They're still doing well, and they're making money hand over fist.
Right.
And by the way, this is not high quality clothing.
No.
According to people who spoke out in the documentary, it's 3 washes and you're already getting holes in the shirt.
They were saying they're putting when the
thin.
girls are putting tags in the clothes, the price tag, it rips a hole in the seam.
Yeah. It literally is just propaganda. I don't know what other word to use, but it's just they're saying, they've created this mystique and this sort of cult following. So it almost doesn't matter the quality of the clothing or the leadership being problematic or not. It's literally just they've created an environment where young girls and young women have to have the Brandy Melville look, and they will just keep going.
Right.
No matter what. And so to this day, there's really been no repercussions.
No.
Some people quit and walked out, but there's just like with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, there's a line out the door of girls who still want to work there. And even said
it was it's a even after this documentary aired, there of course there was a public, there's it made a lot of news headlines. People were making social media posts about it, but it was just a blip.
Yeah.
And if you just let a little bit of time pass, then they're back to it never happened.
Yeah.
And like I said, I saw on my mommy group, someone talked about, I was like, wait, what is Brandy Melville again? They talked about they're like, oh, did you see the CPK is gone? And now there's going to be a Brandy Melville. I'm like, really? I didn't know it was still a popular brand.
I didn't know either.
But it's that one's multiple stores are opening just now. I mean, just now it's happening.
Yeah.
So I can't believe it's already kind of, one's really even.
It's water under the bridge.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of moved on. People are aware of it, but it's whatever. We still, they still have that chokehold on girls and young women, just for some reason. And like you said, we check their Instagram. Brandy Melville still has, 3.1 million followers. They are following absolutely 0 people, which I always think is so douchey.
Yeah.
I don't care. And I know that somebody explained it to me that's I don't know if it's like some sort of like social media strategy or what algorithm. I don't know what the hell it is. I think it's douchey.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, they want you to follow them in massive droves, but they will not give a fuck about you. They don't give a shit about anybody.
No.
Like, so it just is weird to me. I definitely would never. Listen, I wouldn't fit into their clothes, and I don't want to fit into their clothes. And my daughter's luckily, like, she's moved on. Drew, she's like, yeah, that's not really like my style.
Yeah, and
anymore.
they wouldn't know. Like, a teen's not going to know. You know, they're just worried about the clothing aspect of it. And that was another part I thought was funny, is they said on the documentary, he's like a known libertarian, and he's like a vocal, like he believes in having like a no taxes,
yeah.
Kind of like no regulations, things like that. He put, like, what was the name of the book? He put a book in the Brandy Melville stores.
Yes.
Like, what are these 15, 13, 16-year-old
They know nothing about
No,
this
but
damn
it's like,
libertarian
but this
book.
is how he's playing in people's faces. And that's the part where it's like, I don't think he cares. Like,
he's pushing an agenda.
He is.
Yeah.
And, but he would have like free copies of these at his store. And then he had another store.
He named sort of like a line of clothing in his store.
It was a character from
after
that
a
book.
character
So let
from
me
the
tell
libertarian
Oh my
book.
God, I got to go through.
Yeah,
okay. John Galt was the name of his other store.
Yes.
Which is a name from the book of Atlas Shrugged. Atlas Shrugged is the name of the book that was the libertarian book.
Oh, guess what that means?
What's that?
That means we have 3 minutes left to talk because our lunch just
wrap it up.
Because our lunch just got here. No, okay, so overall thoughts on this documentary are, it's just another example of a trash human figuring out how to sort of like fake it to make it, in my opinion. Like, and the reason I say that is that, like I said, he's not described as being some like really like talented, like eye for fashion. Like he's not creating any original thought or original pieces. It's that he sees cool girls, he copies what they wear, and he sends it to their manufacturers. They make it super cheap, and then they throw it on the store's racks, and people buy it like crazy, and he marks it up. It doesn't seem to be high quality clothing at all. In fact, absolutely the opposite. He is definitely contributing to the issue of fast fashion and the landfills and the issues in Ghana. And he's a trash person.
Yeah.
He's a racist, misogynistic, sexist, fat shaming.
Preys on like young girls.
Over-sexualizes young girls. And he's disgusting. And again, like we've said before, I don't believe in cancel culture, but I named a few down. It's like, I could care less if, Harvey Weinstein and O.J. Simpson get canceled. Like, bye.
Yes,
bye.
of course.
Who cares? I could care less if this guy gets canceled either. Sounds like he's like really shown his ass, and like he's just not a good person.
No.
It's pretty shocking that store is like actually still popular.
I know. And growing.
I
know.
Oh my gosh. All right, you guys, we are going to wrap this up here. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. If you're enjoying the Serial Streamers True Crime TV Club, make sure you're following me on social media. I'm at Jami on Air everywhere. Jami on Air on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And Jessi and I are doing these episodes a couple times a month. All of the Serial Streamers episodes, they live on the Murderish podcast feed. So if you're subscribed to Murderish in your favorite podcast app, you will be able to get access to the Serial Streamers episodes. They also live on my YouTube channel, and that's at Jami on Air. So make sure you subscribe there. And remember, be that bitch when it comes to your safety. Always cover your drink. And if your gut's telling you something's wrong, it probably is. Listen to your gut. Stay safe out there.